What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Showdown Breakdown. Where my turds at? DFS Army style, where we're taking a look at the Monday Night Football contest. Bucs, Saints. Let's do this. What's going on, everyone? Kevin Allen here, aka the Geek, and I've got the man himself with me, Bobby Millions, multi-time million maker winner, swims in a bed of cash. Going to make a little bit more tonight. What do you say, Bobbywow?
Let's do it, man. Wow. Yesterday was a massive crush. Holy cow.
Yesterday was epic for DFS Army. Now, like nothing else, it helps when you have core plays on Wilson, on Garrett Wilson, 25. On Watson, fire. On Amon-Ra, fire.
Fire.
On Hurts, the suckers. We talked about this on Tournament Tactics. The Donkeys had no idea who to play at quarterback, and we took advantage. We played Jalen Hurts. We played Mahomes. We played Goff. We played everybody that the suckers didn't. And it was. You want to know how epic it was, Bobbywow? Hold on a second.
Please, let me. Oh.
What's up, guys? Kevin Allen here, aka the Geek from DFS Army, and it was a week to remember. NFL Week 13, the core plays absolutely smashed, and so did the subs. Check this out. Hurts. 50K winner. 20K winner. Styles, what's up, bro? 10K winner, what's up? 7K, that's Hobie. 15K, what? Are you nuts? There's another 50.
Got us fucked up. Army, recruit. We played Joey.
Mixers out. Play P. Ryan. There's the note.
Competition just dropped. We locked and loaded before lock.
This is how we do it.
The time, yeah. Do you even correlate?
Kidding me?
Being the best requires willingness to outwork your competition. There's always someone smarter, faster, sharper, more naturally gifted to come around.
You know what my favorite thing was from yesterday? My favorite, above even all those screenshots. Take a look at this.
Swift. DeAndre Swift.
That's the Minimax.
That's crazy, man. Look at all those.
Normal. First place, second place, fourth. It's like the song. Those are all different people.
That's so beautiful.
It's not easy to win a Minimax. What are you guys doing out there? Get signed up at DFS Army now. This is how we do it. It's the subscribers that are winning, because that we teach how to use the tool. No one else does that. No one else teaches the technique. Trust me, I watch all the content around the industry. Donkey's going to tell you to play Derek Carr. DFS Army's where it's at. Get signed up.
No joke, Geek. One of my favorite parts of the week is seeing like one of the core plays find the end zone and then going to the Discord and just seeing people excited, person after person, just pumped up, losing their minds and winning money. It's the best. It really is.
Now, I have to admit that of all of the cores and everything, Christian Watson almost didn't get us there. It was a little bit of miracles. That one was sketchy. I like high volume. I want our guys to get there like P. Ryan did, like power his way. Like there was no way he wasn't getting there, right? I mean, he touchdowns, he's scoring. He's crossing 100 yards, all of that. But I was a little worried about Christian Watson, but beyond that, it was just an absolute smash. Even the Hurts to AJ Brown revenge narrative is the perfect matchup. No one's playing these guys. I just loved it last week. We talked about it on Tournament Tactics. It's like, holy shit, people have no idea what to do this week, and we're going to make money. Like, I knew it. So now let's try to make some money on this showdown, Bobbywow.
Let's do it. Let's keep it rolling.
Look at all these, even in the comments. Like, Eris is killing it, right? They're I won big. I cashed. Nolan's in there. 150,000. What's up, bro? Unbelievable. All right. We got a showdown. Let's take a look at this one. Matchups first. So we've got the Bucs home taking on the Saints. Bucs are home, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, starting right at the top of the Bucs, will he, won't he, with Leonard Fournette and Rachaad White. So Rachaad White had already been taking over as the starting running back, but Fournette looks like he'll play this week. How do you see that that situation playing out, Bobbywow?
Oh, that's so tough. It's really tough because it feels like the massive ceiling that either might carry on a normal showdown slate. Feels like you have to beware of that ceiling going away a little bit. So to me, I think you can make the argument for both as flex plays, but I think Josh mentioned his notes too. Just feels like their ceiling is a little bit limited given both being healthy.
Okay, so I'm gonna lean more on the Rachaad White side, but I agree with you. Yeah, the ceiling's gonna be limited, but I do think Rachaad White is the better of the two. I we'll see. I haven't even looked at the salaries yet, but just generally from what I've observed, Rachaad White was actually taking over as the prime guy before Leonard Fournette got hurt. So I kind of think that will continue.
Yep, I totally agree.
And no, I do not think this is a Zeke Pollard from last night's scenario at all. I think you're probably not going to get great scores out of both of these guys. I'm very much leaning White over Fournette. I don't really see wanting both of them in the same line. I don't see this game scoring very highly.
It'd be one thing if like Rachaad White was a Zeke type back, like a power back, but that's not what it is. I mean, he's catching passes. He was catching passes more than Lenny was when both were healthy.
Rachaad White was a historic pass catching running back throughout college. I drafted, like I said, this is my dynasty geek coming out. I drafted the shit out of Rachaad White. He is on all of my teams. Like, I loved his profile coming out of college because he's a 3-down pass catching back. That's everything you want in fantasy. So I loved him coming out. I have him on all of my dynasty. I was able to get him second round dynasty drafts. And I'm excited for him to take over as the prime guy here. And I do think that's what's happening. Gio to me is a turd. And that's it. Now, the second situation that we have to monitor. So obviously Chris Godwin coming off the monster game last week. Godwin, Evans, Edwin, Godwin. It goes back and forth, right? Usually after a Godwin big game, you want to shift over to Evans because the crowd will go to Godwin. But if you look at their season, it's like the same. Both guys have the exact same target share on the year. Both guys have the same snap share. It's just there's nothing about this. Marshawn Lattimore is out, and Marshawn Lattimore I assume he's out, correct?
I thought he was out. Let me triple check while you're talking. Yes, he is officially ruled out.
Yeah. So Marshawn Lattimore's had a good history against these teams play a lot. And Lattimore's had a good history against Mike Evans. So glad that he's out. Okay. Maybe that elevates Evans a little bit. I think that'll be the narrative that you'll hear from people.
And I think it absolutely does.
Yeah. The turd zone, a lot of people asking about these turds. Julio Jones, Russell Gage. I think Julio Jones is healthy right now, so it's probably going to be Julio. Julio got the snaps last week. Then a little bit of just these other even extreme turd layer guys like Perriman and Scotty Miller. These are like 2 or 3 percenters for me. What do you think?
Absolutely, especially with Gage back. I think it's really hard to make the argument to roster those guys outside of a bomb from Brady. It's tough to see him in the optimal.
I mean, we saw it yesterday, like Ashton Dolan.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, I'm done. 2 minutes in, and then he wasn't even in the nuts.
No, he wasn't.
Because
That's
so much
the thing.
Scoring happened. That was yesterday's game was one of the funnest games. Dave is all over Julio. Do not sleep on a Dave play. No, never sleep on that.
Never sleep on it.
At tight end for the Bucs, looks like Cade Otton and Cameron Brate. Cade Otton's. It's funny that Brate got the targets last week, but for me, Cade Otton is probably the better pass catching tight end of the two. He's the rookie. 50-50 snap count last week. Any preference here, Bobbywow?
I don't know, Geek. I still think my preference is Cameron Brate, but the price difference is
somebody's saying here Brate might be out. So let's monitor that situation.
If Brate's out, I love me some Cade Otton tonight,
same here. So let's get confirmation on that. If you're saying I did not see that, so that's in the comment section. Mr. 5 cents doesn't play games. No, doesn't. Bullshit, but let's find out. Okay. If Brate is out, though, I think we both agree Cade Otton a very good play.
I don't think he's going to be out. I haven't seen anything about
Bobby's saying it too now.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can get some verification in the comments about Brate as we break this down. All right. Flip side, New Orleans. Who that there going to beat them Saints?
How is Andy Dalton still a starting quarterback, Geek?
You know what? He's a C-. And the Jets just showed you this weekend in the last couple of weeks that you throw a C- in there with a decent rest of the team, you can win a game.
It's true. It's true.
How about?
I'm just glad you're willing to call Mike White a C-.
We're not. What was he, an A? I mean, come on. I just wanted a C. Give me average. C- is fine. So anyway, yeah, Dalton. Obviously, we don't love Dalton. Low scoring game. Oh my gosh, right? He burned us. That one showdown
burned us.
But that's once every 2 years. Is he going to do it again? I don't really think so. Alvin Kamara has not been good for a while. So let's not allow, for me with Alvin Kamara, I'm just saying, like, let's not allow ourselves to get overly sucked into loading up on Alvin Kamara. Like, this is a guy you're not super excited about starting if he's on a main slate. It's been a while. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the tough part for me is he is the most trustworthy source of points from the Saints. To me, I know it's been a little crazy lately, but outside of Olave, I don't know. The matchup is tough too. So you're right. It's very, very, it's tough. It's tough with Kamara. I like him tonight, but we can talk more about that during the sheets.
And of course, Hunter, our numbers guru, did point out that underdog RB1 has done well in this style of matchup in the past. So it opens up underdog RB1 as a potential captain. All right. My favorite play on the Saints most weeks is going to be Chris Olave, a real focal point of the passing offense, 29% target share last week. Look at the target share of Olave compared to the other guys. Although it is interesting to see Rashid Shaheed taken over as rightfully as the WR3 for this team. So taking a look over here at the snap percentages, this really tells the tale, right? So you've got Olave, Landry, and Shaheed all on the field about the same number of snaps, with Trequizzi's, the chef, Smith, the one who's kind of losing out on target share sort of now. The other interesting situation here, of course, is, Taysom Hill with Juwan Johnson out, taking over as sort of a pass cat, like a real tight end weapon. I know you hate Taysom Hill, but Juwan Johnson out. Is that the right guy? Is that the name? Juwan Johnson?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Because there's a guy on San Francisco with a similar name that confuses me, like Juwan Jennings or something.
Yeah.
So exactly. Sorry. Juwan Johnson out. I think that elevates Taysom Hill, Tay, into a. Now, are you gonna maintain your Taysom Hill hate, Bobbywow?
Probably not as much. I think you're right. He's a solid play. He's relatively inexpensive given his role. So yes, I think my hate is a little bit less for Taysom Hill tonight. Although I do like Troutman a bit too. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Troutman a bit. He's a turd.
The price.
5%er. Yeah, like a cheapy turd that you can, get a catch or two. But Taysom Hill has a real chance of putting up a 20-point score. Like, he can do that once in a while. And I love the target share for Taysom Hill recently. The other guy I didn't talk about is Mark Ingram. And do I have to talk about Mark Ingram? It looks like we kind of do have to mention him.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting some snaps. He's getting a consistent amount of snaps each game.
Yeah, not a ton of work, but he's out there on the field a little bit.
Could he run a touchdown in? Sure. And
will he?
Will he? It's unlikely, but he's 4,400. He's priced as a backup on DraftKings, so absolutely got to pay attention at least.
Yeah. Shaheed is another guy I just want to mention because Rashid Shaheed is one of these guys that will win you a tournament every once in a while, and he's a deep ball guy. You got to have a little Shaheed in there just in case he pulls a Tre'Quan Smith.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go to the sheet. and talk about some captains potentially on DraftKings. But remember, guys, before we even break this part down, if you like these videos, you like the Showdown breakdown, what we do here at DFS Army Tournament, make sure you smash the like and subscribe and all that good stuff. So we know you're out there. And, of course, if you want to get signed up at DFS Army, you see all the winners, want to join the crew, you can always do that. Go to dfsarmy.com. Code GEEK gets you 10% off. So make sure you go and check that out. All right. Chris Godwin. Last week, smashed.
Yeah.
Really high usage last week, particularly. And Josh has him as the top captain play on the slate.
Do you disagree?
No, I think he's probably right up there. I think it's interesting that Mike Evans is cheaper than him. I don't see any reason for that. Yeah, I mean, Godwin had the big game last week, but Godwin's been getting a little more target volume on a week-over-week basis. So, yeah, I'm okay with it. And, I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm actually fine with it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think, to me, Godwin makes more sense on DraftKings. I think I like Evans a tick more on FanDuel just because with Lattimore out, it would not surprise me to see Evans find the end zone at least once tonight.
Yeah, I don't, listen, if you had to weigh the odds of Godwin outscoring Evans, for me, it's like 55-45. Like it's not dramatic. I would think give 60-40. Am I on track? What do you think?
I think so. Yeah, I think
60-40. It's close.
Godwin feels more like the consistent, safer guy.
Let me look at ownership here. Ownership projecting about, let's see, captain ownership. That's what I really kind of want. So Godwin a little bit above, but very similar ownerships. Very similar. Tom Brady, if you choose, yeah. So I'm going to read what I don't like pocket passers. Tom Brady, a bit of an exception, but probably not for me.
Yeah.
He needs to be stacked with two guys. There's no chance of Tom Brady getting there without dragging two people with him, because if all the work went to Godwin, Godwin will be that guy. And so he's got to drag two players with him in order to have a chance of being there. So the automatic rule for a quarterback captain on DraftKings, unless they run, which Tom Brady does not, is QB +2 of, and the two pass catchers, you're talking Godwin, Evans, Jones, maybe mix in Gage, maybe mix in the running backs count. So White, Fournette, or
I think Brayton and Otten as well. Yeah,
Brayton, the tight ends. That's right. I was trying to remember the names. So with Brady, every single player on his team is a potential for a stack, including the running backs.
Yes.
Except for Miller. Fuck Miller. Fuck Scotty Miller. Not him. And no Bashard Perriman. I'm not counting that guy.
No.
So Kamara really hasn't done a ton this year. Why? I don't really know. There's no reason that he shouldn't have a good game here. There's no effective component of the offense to me that tells me Kamara should do poorly. It's just his team has been bad, and the matchups have been bad for him. Like, I didn't expect Kamara to have a good game against the 49ers. Sorry. Right? Like, matchups have been bad. This isn't a great matchup either, but it's a beatable matchup for Kamara. So yeah. I think he's definitely in the mix.
And he's one of those guys that has proven to be matchup proof at times. I think Andy Dalton at the helm has really hurt Kamara's upside.
It's weird. I feel like Kamara is fine. I think with Andy Dalton is fine, because Dalton will check down to the running back. Like Jameis Williams. The fuck is his name? Jameis Williams?
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. I am having. I think it's
the Detroit guy. We Detroit guy from yesterday, right?
I think I smoked a little too much weed last night.
Oh, jeez.
I'm keeping it real. Fucking with me right now.
Oh,
all right. Jameis Winston. So Chris Olave for me is one of my favorites. I think if the Saints are doing well, it's because Chris Olave is having a good game. I love this kid. He's so freaking good. The rookie doing really well. And Taysom, you know, all right, I got to read Josh's quote here for Taysom Hill. I hate it. You hate it. We hate it. But Taysom Hill will be involved and may get more snaps. He has to because of the injury to Juwan Johnson. He can ruin Showdown if you don't have him in your lineups. I will have, and he will have a small percentage. I like Taysom Hill. I think he's perfectly acceptable. We know what he can do at the right times. We know what he's done this year. He's put up 20 plus. In this game, he'll actually play the tight end position, which means he's on the field a little bit more, which means Bobbywow, at some point in this game, you will see Taysom Hill run over from the tight end spot behind and go behind center. Then you're going to see Dalton spread out wide. And the Bucs are going to be like, do we even need to cover Dalton? Do we even need to bother? Then you're going to see Taysom Hill throw a touchdown pass to Andy Dalton, moving in slow motion, running like this. You ever see like slow-mo running, but it's going to be his full speed.
I think I might drink a beer out of a turd hat if that happens.
Touchdown, Taysom Hill to Andy Dalton. Somebody asked me if Andy Dalton is a risk of getting benched mid-game. I say no.
Probably not. I feel like it would have been done by now.
Jameis Winston is hurt, by the way. People don't know this. He has an injury that will keep him out for the season. So
apparently he doesn't know it either.
He doesn't know, but they think he's hurt and he can't. I think that's why. I think that's why Dalton is starting. The one name that's not mentioned here, and it's not an exciting name, but if you need to get a little turtlier at captain, I think is Jarvis Landry a reasonable, or at least a reasonable like miracle shot, silly for the millie?
Yeah, I think you could include him in deep GPP. I'm not going to have any Jarvis Landry, but he's certainly someone you could include.
Yeah, I don't know that I'll get there either, but to me, Jarvis Landry had a good game once, so it's better than never.
Yeah.
David says Landry is due.
Here's my issue, Geek, with Taysom Hill, and I want everyone to hear this. Taysom Hill, just 1 week so far this season, would have paid off that price tag. And it was a big week. It was 37 points. But outside of that, he's done nothing to warrant rostering him at that price tag. Yes, I know he's going to get some extra reps.
Hold on a second. 10, 37, the 15.
Maybe.
That probably gets you there.
Okay.
But there's only been a couple of weeks, Bobbywow, where Juwan Johnson didn't play. I think that's the bigger part for me. Is just Juwan being out turns him into actually playing tight end for the team. But you could be right. What if it's Troutman? But I love the idea of seeing Taysom Hill on the field the whole game. That does elevate his chances of having. But you're right. He's priced up a little bit. I think the price up is correct, though, because he's a tight end plus a wildcat quarterback that could run. He could have his miracle wildcat play for the touchdown.
It's true.
I think it's worth it. So taking a look at the turd zone. So interesting omission here. Neither of White or Fournette is sort of listed here. I think White is viable as a captain as well. I want to mention that before we move on. White is good. Like, this dude is good. And Fournette probably gets hurt in the second play of this game. He doesn't want to play anymore.
I could see it going one of two ways. I think that's the most likely scenario that you just mentioned. I could also see the Bucs committing to getting Fournette right, and Fournette wanting to prove that, like, hey, this young punk, I still got it over this kid.
I said that's your loyalty speaking.
Probably.
You're like a loyal person.
The other thing that's not making this like a for sure roster White for me is that it's not like he was amazing last week when he got the job to himself. Like, he wasn't phenomenal. He didn't impress like he had in weeks past. So it's I think you're right. I think Rachaad White is the better play. I just don't know that the trustworthiness is at all there.
I all-in with Rachaad White last week the same way I all-in with Samaje Perine this week.
Yeah, I think a lot of us did.
Didn't work. The White was fine too. It worked out.
It was fine. It was fine.
It's fine. Worked out. I'm not sure if he was part of the nuts, but it was fine. It was a good play. I just don't think I'm going right back to Rachaad White. Doesn't matter what happened last week. Past performance not indicative of future results. So I would, this to me, it's Hill over Shaheed. Like if I'm making that choice.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this is Shaq Jack's picture, but my man looks a little bit like former UFC light middleweight champion. Fuck, I can't remember his name now. Woodley. Can't remember the full name. He's also in Cobra Kai as like a goon. He's a UFC guy. This looks exactly like him. Tyron Woodley. There it is. Come on, man. Is that an actual picture of Tyron Woodley? Or is that you, Shaq Jack? Jeez. Oh, man. He looks like Tyron. That's awesome. All right. Where are we? So, Turd Zone. Okay. So, here's what I need to address this with you, Bobbywow. Do I need to play Andy Dalton? How much Dalton do I need to play? Just, you had me playing it. That's him. Nice. You had me playing some Dalton the last time. How much Dalton do we need here, Bobbywow?
Man, if he's going to be 50% owned, I kind of like coming in at half of that. I kind of like the idea of getting 20, 25% Dalton. And again, this to me is a tip your hat play. If he performs well, it'll be a surprise. You tip your cap, and that's it. If Dalton beats me, Dalton beats me. But I'd much rather be under the field on a guy like Dalton if projected ownership is coming in at 50%.
He's 9K. He's not super expensive. Not super expensive. Yeah, the ownership looks to be about 40%. You can get a little under on him. Josh definitely likes Dalton. He's got a 4-star play going there. So, be that what it will. I do think that one thing about the Bucs is it's not that easy to run up the gut against them. So if you are competing, you're probably doing it via the pass. That opens up a little bit of interest in Dalton. And that 9K price, he doesn't need to get crazy. I think like a 15 might do it for us, Bobbywow.
Agreed. Yeah. And look, I don't like Dalton. I think there's some bias there as well. Josh likes Dalton. He says over the field in the flex. So I trust DFS Up North more than I trust myself on this call. And you're right. They are not afraid to let Dalton throw the football for whatever reason. They let him sling it.
They really do. I'm looking at the stars. So again, a little bit of a lean here towards White. I love that White is cheaper than Fournette. The field sees the price and will lean Fournette because the field assumes that the DraftKings salary masters know better. So like, oh, it must be Fournette. And that might cause Fournette's ownership. Oh my goodness. If this is true. So here is our first edge spot. Look at the ownerships. So if this is true, Fournette projecting for 30% and Rashad for 13%. That's an edge right there, Bobbywow.
It feels like an edge to me, but it also feels like that's hard to believe a little bit.
I know. I don't know if I believe it either. I'm not sure if I agree with you.
But yeah, I mean that in that scenario, yes, I would agree. That feels like a little bit of an edge to me.
I hate that I don't know if it's going to actually be that way. But yeah, I mean, that's really interesting. I do think it's predictive. Ownerships are predictive. They end up self-fulfilling in a lot of ways. So that'll be really, really interesting to see if that goes down like that. Let's hammer through the rest of this so we can make our DraftKings lineup here. But
real quick, for what it's worth, Fournette has relatively significantly better touchdown odds than Rashad White, and they're very comparable with rush yards and reception yards.
What are the touchdown odds for both guys?
Touchdown odds for Fournette, I believe, are 120, and touchdown odds for Rashad White are 190, plus 120, plus 190.
Now I'm thinking, like, what if this is a reverse trap? And like everybody in the chat is like, dude, I'm loaded up on White. I don't have no Lenny. And what
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We can't be so sure.
It's got to be wrong, right?
I think you need a mix of both. And just to say it out loud, you can play both in the same lineup if they're in the flex. You can.
Okay. I'm not going to be trying to do it, especially
don't go out of your way to do it, but don't eliminate it from your player pool. Don't eliminate it with your rules.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so obviously I love Taysom here. I'm very excited to use him, but we know he's an up and down kind of guy. some other plays in the turd zone here. Julio Jones hurt Leo.
Yeah.
Starting to
been
get
more
some
involved.
targets. Yeah. Starting to get some targets. Fine. Jarvis Landry getting healthier each week until he gets hurt again. Oh, so here you go. Yeah. Okay. So the numbers are maybe changing on the Dom station where it's more accurate than this. So it's very possible now that they're about the same. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So we'll see about that. Buccaneers defense, fine. Russell Gage. I don't get Russell Gage with Julio back. I think Russell Gage would need a injury. I think Julio's starting ahead of him. No?
I think so. It's hard to make the argument for Gage over Julio given the last couple of weeks.
Gage has been out, but
he'll get some snaps for sure. I don't know that he'll out-snap Julio, but he'll be on the field.
Yeah.
Gage will.
And I would definitely play Shaheed a little bit. Same lineup? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Kevin White was cut, and the only reason that's important is because I think he got a bunch of snaps last week. I want to say he was on the field for like 30-ish% of the time. So I don't think Rashid's snaps are going to go down, is what I'm saying. I think that's a relatively number that we can count on.
One thing I'm going to say, this game has a really low total. And by the way, guys, on that note, make sure if you don't have the Sharp app yet, make sure you download the Sharp app. Do it right now. Go to the iOS store, go to the Android, download Sharp app. And then I want you to click on the game center for this game. So you're just going to click on this game and it's free. It's a free app. Go to iOS, Android, you download Sharp app, you go to the game center and you click on player props, right? And you can see the touchdown odds, the yardage odds for every single player involved with this game. It's really nice. It organizes it all in one place. But similarly, on the Sharp app right now, you'll note that this game is trending to the under. It's 41.5 point total. And those low total games, Bobbywow, tend to feature a lot of field goal kicks. I love the field goal kickers in this one. And it's such a contrast to last night where we had just a scoring bonanza. I don't think we're going to see it, Bobbywow. I think we're going to see kickers being some of the best scorers on this slate. What do you say?
Yeah, agreed. I think this is a big-time kicker slate and defense slate as well.
Yeah, it's kicker defense. So, but I also love that it's following up last week, which was not that. Last night's, which was totally the opposite. And you know how the field chases what happened last night. So I think we'll get a little bit lower ownership on some of those kickers maybe than we need to. Hanging out in the turd zone over here, there's a couple of cheap plays I think that open up a lot. And Cade Otton, Shaheed, Adam Troutman, this trio right here looks really good. So if I need to find salary, rank these for me. I think it's a little weird that Cade Otton is this cheap. Rank them for me, Bobbywow.
Oh man.
Or
I would probably say Troutman, Shaheed, and Otton, assuming Brate plays. Brady trusts Brate. That's the problem. Brady trusts Brate a lot. I think that's why you saw him get the targets last week. I think that trend will continue here.
Yeah. So,
but again, it's not like one stands out far more than the others to me. I think you need a mix of all three.
Yeah, I would say he does like Brate, but Brate can't catch a pass. I mean, that's the problem. Like Brate, he sucks. So like, there's a talent problem with Brate. It's not. He's good at blocking, but he's not that good at catching.
Brady's got to throw the ball to Otton for him to score. That didn't happen with Brate on the field last week. Could it this week? Definitely.
So Troutman of all of these is probably the better one, and especially that he's the cheapest. So he does open up a little bit. Anybody here at the $200 range that's of interest? Pretty much no. I
don't think so. It's just a little bit interesting to note that Keyshawn Vaughn got the snaps over Gio Bernard last week. I don't know why that happened, but it did happen. It didn't amount to anything, but just something to note. I don't even think Josh has Gio on his sheet anywhere.
Gio, Leonard Fournette wasn't playing last week, so Gio got in there. Or Gio, yeah, and even with no Leonard Fournette, it was Vaughn and not Gio, which means Gio's pretty much dust.
Is he? Yeah.
Gio Bernard, a.k.a. the ladies' man. Guys, look that up. Look up Gio Bernard and look up the ladies' man while we make a lineup. All right. So let's build a DraftKings lineup for this slate. Bobbywow, who are we starting with? And this is going to be, let's call it sort of a cashy lineup. I don't like to pay up for my first spot.
I kind of like Olave, Geek.
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay. Low scoring game. He gets peppered with targets. He might not even have to find the end zone.
I like Olave as well. I listen, I want to get Evans and Godwin and all those guys in the lineup too. But we already talked about loving. Oh my gosh, David, you want to go? I can't do that for my cashy lineup because Julio's going to get hurt on the second play. Only father of three knows about the ladies' man. That's okay. That's okay. You got to be in your 40s. Got to be in your 40s. All right. So suck up Lutz doubling down.
Woo. I think I'm going Godwin and Cash.
I don't even need, by the way, you don't even need to double down here. You got to play Godwin.
I think you got to play Kamara or Dalton, in my opinion.
Over Brady and Evans?
I don't know.
Over
I would go. I would in Cash.
I play Taysom and Cash.
I'm probably going Kamara and Cash, but I don't want to talk you off Tay.
This is about what I want to be doing in order to pull it off.
And then if you want, you drop a kicker for Troutman and you pick up Dalton or Kamara. That's the pivot to me in Cash.
Yeah.
Or not Cash, but more of a cashy lineup.
Yeah, and at this point you could play Kamara as well.
Yep.
Over. Yeah, I mean there's salary left over here. The other thing you could do here is actually, I think I could get Godwin as my captain in this version. How about this?
There you
Godwin,
go.
and then I could still play Olave like that, so I can at least spend the money.
There you go. Yep.
Not too bad. Okay. No. Yeah, I don't hate it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like Kamara as much as you do, but I trust in the wow. It's the wow factor.
The floor. It's the floor for me.
Yes, I do think it's a low scoring game, and I do think double kicker. And I want to address this. Yes, I do think it's a low scoring game, and I do think double kicker is viable. Am I going crazy on it? No, but this is that kind of a game. This is that kind of a game where kickers just go nuts. Like, I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying it could happen. Kickers, they can't get in the end zone. Two teams that just haven't been able to put the ball into the end zone. I mean, this is the story of both of these teams' year. They can't score a lot of the time. Brady has rejuvenated, though.
He has. He looks better.
He found a new fountain of youth. I've seen it on Instagram. It's refreshing his cellular, molecular situation. And he is rejuvenating. He's rejuvenating. If you want to know about it, go check on Instagram. I'm not gonna gossip. It's not me. It's not how I do it.
No gossip girl. Gossip geek.
Yeah, no, I'm not the gossip geek. All right. So Josh went very, very conservative here. I do not agree with this necessarily, but Josh went very conservative MVP on FanDuel, saying, hey, fuck it. I'm just doing Brady, Dalton, and Kamara. And that's it.
Who would you add in here, Geek?
I think you need the running back from the Bucs. I think it's White, but Fournette could be in that discussion. And I also think, because it's a weird one, all of Olave, Godwin, and Evans should be in this discussion here. And if you want to get even sillier, Tay.
Man, I wish you would get excited about all these MVP options when I do the sheet.
No, you always do it, and it's like Christian McCaffrey's on the slate.
I need to put just a few on, and then you can add as we do the show.
You do it during the. It's like, what are we? Jalen Hurts is on the slate. Want to fucking play Goddard, and then of course Goddard goes off. But
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think those guys need to be on here
because there are duds. Every one of these names can absolutely dud. Brady could put up a 12.
Yeah, and 20 could win it.
Anybody. What's that?
15 to 20 could win it.
15 to 20 might win it. But could you not see Kamara under 10? Yes. Can you see Brady 12 to 14? Sure. Dalton, maybe 8 to 15 range?
Well, that's the thing. There's so much potential for spreading these points out, right? Because you've got Rachaad White and Lenny Fournette, both better odds than plus 200 to score touchdowns. You've got Taysom Hill and Andy Dalton who spreads the ball around, Kamara and Hill splitting rushing touchdowns. Like you said, it just, even if there is scoring in this game, it feels like the MVP could be lower score than normal.
Yeah. No, I see all of it. Again, we're again, the betting the under over on Sharp as well. So like, let's not look for this monster scoring game. These two teams play really good defense. They're both really kind of not good offenses. Anything can change. By the way, do we not just see Dallas, go off for 50, like the highest score I've ever seen? Weird shit happens, but like, the expectation is don't expect an offensive juggernaut game. And that means low scores. That means a kicker could sneak his way onto this. So on FanDuel, especially, we're trying to avoid ties. This is a pretty good slate to avoid ties, to be honest.
Yeah, I hate to come back to it every time we do this, but there's slates to get cute at MVP on FanDuel. There's slates to get cute in the flex. This is a slate to get cute at MVP, in my opinion. We don't have to get 50% in the MVP. Get a little bit of spread there.
Rarely hear about trying to get cute here on the Where My Turds At show, but this is the one to do that. Yeah, like sometimes it gets a little weird, and let's keep it Portland. We'll keep it weird at MVP. Yeah. Because both the running backs aren't dominant enough here, but we didn't even get a running back. Get White in there. We got to take some shots. Of course, Brady is the most likely one, in my opinion. By the way, if I had to make a cash game version, it's probably Brady for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at the flex spots. I just want to look at the salaries on FanDuel a little bit and see kind of who pops. So Evans, there we go. Isn't this interesting? On DraftKings, Godwin is significantly more expensive than Evans. On FanDuel, Evans is significantly more expensive than Godwin.
I think it's the touchdown upside and the lack of PPR, full point PPR. I think that's what does it.
If you could hear what just happened when I tried to do the Sports Center guy, this thing, my neck cracked. I didn't even know if you could hear that through the thing. It was like, got a little scared that I would be paralyzed after that, and glad I'm okay. All right. Yeah, interesting that Godwin's cheaper. Lenny, 12K. Rachaad White, 11K. Again, man, making that decision, brutal. Taysom Hill at 10K, fine. Defenses, let's load up on these kickers, guys. Load the fuck up. And then in the sub-kicker price range, in the sub-kicker zone, Landry, 7,500, not bad.
No, that's not terrible.
Where's Cameron B?
How is Julio Jones 7K?
So again, FanDuel, which is normally sharper in price than DraftKings, they have Cameron Braid as an afterthought with Cade Otton as the more offensive-minded player. Here you got Adam Troutman as min price. I wish this was a slate where there were studs that we wanted to lock in because they're going to be great. Like, hold on a second. Brady, Evans, Godwin, Kamara. All right. I was like, can I put all the 5 top price guys in a lineup together? Hold on. 4K. Okay. Wait a minute. Brady, Godwin, Olave, White,
Julio.
Hurt
you get
Leo.
your 2 wide receivers.
Yeah. Okay. Troutman is 5K. In a Troutman lineup, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, he's sketchy for sure. But yeah, Julio's cheap. Troutman's cheap. I like Braid a little bit, but yeah.
And plus these kickers are in such a good spot. So
for what it's worth, Geek, just to throw out another little nugget here. Alvin Kamara has the best odds on the slate to score a touchdown.
What is his touchdown prop?
Plus 115.
I think I'm more interested in the fact that plus 115 is such a shitty prop. Like the highest prop for a touchdown is sub 50%. It just talks about how the slate is.
That's another good point too.
Yeah. But Kamara's that, but what's Rachaad White?
Plus 190.
Not very good. How about Evans?
Plus 145.
Yeah. So
You don't want to know who the second best? Evans is third. Second best is Lenny Fournette, plus 120.
Plus 120. Trinnell, we said it's on the Sharp app. I wish I could show it on the screen. It's like player prop. You go to the game center, player props on the Sharp app to score a touchdown. This is really important stuff. You got to have it. And it breaks down. I can't even show it, but it breaks down every player that could possibly score a touchdown and what their prop is. Here's Jarvis Landry. Ooh, plus 305, right? Julio, plus 400. Gross. Ooh, Keyshawn Vaughn, plus 2,000.
Jesus.
It's the to score a touchdown prop. Anyway, with all that being said, let me actually go find the players that you're talking about here. Brait, Godwin, Olave. Oh yeah, Olave's plus 210. Oh, it's going to be a little different. Yeah. Anyway, where are we? All right, continue on. So yeah, in the turd zone here. So in the turd zone, it's just not. You don't need it. I don't think you need it, Bobbywow. Let's make a FanDuel lineup. Let's do a little more conservative one, which would I think you got to play these kickers, at least one of them. Which kicker do you prefer, Lutz or Suckup?
I don't know. I feel like I would try lean Lutz if I had to choose.
Okay. I'm gonna throw Lutz in there.
The thing
like
with this
both.
is, if you're conservative, I feel like you need either the QB or the running back from New Orleans on FanDuel. Could be wrong.
Dalton is really cheap. 13K is very inexpensive on FanDuel for a quarterback. I don't mind that one bit. Plug in Chris Godwin. How about this? Tay-Tay?
Oh my gosh, that's not conservative, but
You're
really loving Tay-Tay.
I love Tay. You know, he's my guy.
He is your guy.
He's my guy. He's been my guy for years. I loved it when he started. What I want to see is Dalton get knocked out and give me some Taysom Hill, but it's not. They go to Jameis Winston.
Here's my question: what would it take to get Olave? Can you even fit him in instead of?
No,
Hill?
I'm looking at it. I'm trying to figure out how to make an Olave version work.
No, you could go Olave Troutman. I think
you'd have to get rid of Will Lutz, so
Yeah.
you'd have to get rid of the kicker, and then you could go Olave Troutman. So there's an approach to get you Brady pass catcher, Dalton pass catcher, and then turd.
Just some options.
Yeah. Wild. Anyway, all right. Let's wrap it up there. We've got, let's see, about 2 hours on the dot from this moment till game time. I think this one will be fun. I've got FanDuel maxed out for this. Last night, man, I was in first until that defensive touchdown by Dallas at the very end.
Yeah.
And I played a lot of Dallas defense, but
things got weird in a hurry last night.
I had musical chairs. I had different lineups keep popping into first place all throughout. I was like, I got so many. I thought I had it all covered. I was like, man, no matter what happens, I'm winning this shit. And then that crazy ass defensive touchdown. I was like, ugh.
So you're somebody who checks your lineups like consistently throughout?
I'm not looking at the details, but on FanDuel specifically, you can really see if you've hit it or not. If you've got like 10 lineups and they're all within like 2 points of first place, it's like, all right, I've got an army of variations that are going to be there no matter what. But, I'm watching.
Okay.
You don't watch it all? That's why you didn't know the other week when you were in first place. I was like, Bobbywow's winning $1 million. And you're like, I am? I'm like, would you not look?
I'm finding it's more enjoyable. It's a more enjoyable experience if I don't look until like halfway through the fourth quarter.
Makes sense.
But I go back and forth.
It's kind of irrelevant.
It is
in the showdown.
Irrelevant. Yes.
When you're watching the showdown and Rashid Shaheed scored a long touchdown and you forgot to play him, that you're not winning shit. Like, I don't have to look.
You might even not look at all at that point.
Yeah. I don't even have to look. And then you start dreaming halfway through the fourth quarter, like, oh, I'm in first. Or could I hold it? And you can't. You never hold. But you're like, can I hold it? Am I gonna? I'd rather have like 5 lineups close to first place than one in first.
You're doing it. You're like, okay, beginning of the fourth quarter, if Olave, Kamara, and Evans don't score another point, I'm gonna give. It's like, oh,
would we
geez.
play Tampa defense? Yeah. Both defenses are very much in play here. Tampa being the home defense, playable. Am I going to focus on Tampa defense? No, but I'll have my usual 15 to 18% exposure. And that's about it. So
and let's not forget too, I think last time Dalton played well, he was the MVP play at quarterback. And I think the opposing defense was in the flex because he threw like 4 or 5 interceptions.
That's right. Don't ever worry about defense against your captain. As a matter of fact, that happens to win like 20%. It's one of the most predictive things on DraftKings where you win playing defense against your captain. And it's weird. We don't know why, but it's actually quite predictive. All right. So to finish up, guys, drop your favorite turd in the comments section below on this. We mentioned a few of them, Troutman and Shaheed and all these guys. Brait and Otten. Who's your favorite turd? Let us know in the comments section below. Good luck tonight on the Showdown. Let's crush it again. We will see you guys next time on another Showdown breakdown. Where my turd's at. Take care, everyone.